working to get answers from the U.S. Postal Service after customers experience major shipping delays.
Vaccines should give us hope, but it's not the vaccine, it's the vaccination that matters.
Less than a week after bearing his own arm to get the coronavirus vaccine, the U.S. Surgeon General comes to Indiana to encourage everyone to do the same with a special message to communities of color.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5, streaming now.
Now first at 5, our mild December temperatures will soon be a thing of the past. Change is obvious as we look to our west there. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is tracking the timing of a big temperature drop and also the possibility of a little snow. Good evening, Kevin.
And Mark, big day. We finally feel the changes that we've been talking about, but probably not until almost midnight. Coldest air still 2 states away, but it's a good 30-degree temperature drop. Just look at Iowa. They're in the low 20s. Then you get into the single digits in spots in eastern North Dakota and South Dakota. Story of the day, the wind and our mild temperatures. 40-mile-per-hour gust in Indianapolis. The winds will stay strong, especially through midnight. When the cold front goes through, it will become a west wind and die down just a bit. We've had scattered showers this afternoon. The actual front, the transition to the colder air, will generate another skinny line of heavier showers that will move through later this evening before midnight. Then as the cold air catches the moisture, maybe change it to a little snow. There are the temperatures at or above 50 degrees throughout all of the state. We work the timeline 7 o'clock to 11, rain becomes more widespread. Then as we go into the early overnight, see the pink? That's where we start to mix in and change to some snow. A quick burst of some snow as the colder air starts to settle in. Just expecting a dusting, that's about all. We'll unravel the forecast for tomorrow and our unusual Christmas Day forecast coming up.
We will see you soon, Kevin. Thank you. It is 2 days until Christmas, and the U.S. Postal Service is experiencing unprecedented delays. Many customers are wondering where their packages are and whether they'll be delivered in time. WRTV's Megan Sanctorum is working for you, finding out the reasons for the delay and what the post office is doing to fix it.
We're just days away from Christmas, and many people who mailed packages through the U.S. Postal Service say they still haven't been delivered.
I thought 15 days out, I should be okay.
Aggie Adkins is just one of many experiencing shipping delays with the U.S. Postal Service. She says she dropped Christmas gifts off here at the Nora Post Office back on December 10th. She paid $31.55 for priority shipping with an estimated delivery date of the 15th. Now, more than a week later, her packages are nowhere to be found. The tracking number not providing any clues either, only showing it's in transit. Adkins is not alone. Analysts say more than 7 million packages have been delayed nationwide. Adkins says she's staying home for the holidays this year due to the pandemic, and she's disappointed the gifts and bit of cheer she mailed might not make it to family on time.
This year, I think people really were hoping they could at least have that moment, maybe a Zoom family call and tell everybody how much they love their gifts. And yes, we know maybe they'll get there eventually, but at this point, I'm kind of like, I don't know where that box is at all. And I can't anticipate if and when they will arrive.
A spokesperson for the U.S. Postal Service released a statement saying the delays are due to a temporary employee shortage due to the pandemic, as well as capacity challenges with airlifts and trucking, as they see a record number of packages being mailed. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, WRTV.
A spokesperson for the post office declined an interview and would not answer any specific questions about the delays. We also reached out to the Indiana Postal Workers Union, but have not yet heard back. WRTV will continue to follow this story over the next couple of weeks and make sure people receive their packages. Today, the U.S. Surgeon General returned to his medical roots here in Indiana to promote the safety of the coronavirus vaccines for people of all ethnicities. He's encouraging all Hoosiers to get the shot when it's their turn. Dr. Jerome Adams received his medical degree at the IU School of Medicine and served as Indiana's health commissioner before becoming Surgeon General. He spoke at Eskenazi Health today with the goal of helping build trust in the vaccine among communities of color.
We are at the beginning of the end. But and this is an important but, what would be a true tragedy is if we had a tool to end this pandemic, but it actually worsened disparities because the people who could most benefit from it end up being the people who don't get it or who are unwilling to take it. We need to help people understand the processes that were in place to ensure these vaccines are safe and are effective. And I want people to know these vaccines are 95% effective. The bar that we set was 50%. They're 95% effective. So you are truly denying yourself an opportunity to give yourself almost 100% protection from this virus if you choose not to get vaccinated.
Dr. Adams acknowledged that there were legitimate reasons for hesitancy in communities of color based on past government experiments decades ago. He also was emphatic about the safeguards that are now in place, and he wanted people to know that an African-American woman helped develop the vaccine, and the population involved in the trials was diverse as well. Also, people of color were on the panels reviewing their safety. He said that's why he felt safe getting a vaccine on live TV last week. More vaccine has arrived in central Indiana. IU Health shared this video today of the first doses of the Moderna vaccine arriving at IU Health Methodist. This amounts to 4,000 doses. And a larger supply of COVID vaccine is on its way to hospitals and doctors' offices across the country. The federal government has agreed to buy 100 million additional doses of the vaccine from Pfizer. Pfizer will deliver at least 70 million doses by the end of June of next year, with the remaining doses coming no later than July 31st. This comes after the Trump administration turned down a previous offer of additional vaccines from Pfizer. Now to the numbers we're hoping will all decrease as more vaccine is rolled out. The state health department reports deaths of 62 more people with COVID. They occurred between August and yesterday. The overall total has now topped 7,300. The number of new positive cases is again more than 4,000. Today's number, 4,731. Those cases were recorded between August 26th and yesterday. Now to that COVID relief package that could be dead on arrival when it gets to the president's desk. He's threatening to not sign the bill into law, even after months of back and forth between Democrats and Republicans who finally hammered out an agreement. The president is demanding more money for stimulus checks to American households. Meanwhile, current aid is set to expire in just days for millions of Americans. ABC's Andrew Dimbert reports.
From this
derailing the deal.
Send me a suitable bill, or else the next administration will have to deliver a COVID relief package.
In a White House-produced video, President Donald Trump taking to Twitter to announce he is rejecting that coronavirus relief package, sending shockwaves through Congress after originally signaling he would sign the bill into law.
The bill they are now planning to send back to my desk is much different than anticipated.
The president labeling the carefully crafted bipartisan agreement a, quote, disgrace, demanding Congress increase direct cash payments to most Americans from $600 to $2,000. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris calling out the president for waiting this long to voice his opposition to the deal.
We definitely need to get relief. And I mean, the challenge was, as even the speaker said, they didn't get any feedback from the president.
Although Trump chose not to be a part of the negotiations, his Treasury Secretary was. And after Congress reached a deal, Secretary Mnuchin told CNBC stimulus checks were coming fast.
Again, let me emphasize that people are going to see this money at the beginning of next week.
But now there's no telling when Americans will see that money or any additional relief. COVID unemployment benefits are set to expire this week and eviction protections the week after. Also, the COVID deal was tied to a larger $2.3 trillion spending bill to fund the federal government. If President Trump doesn't sign it, the U.S. government could shut down on December 28th. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is calling for a special session tomorrow to take up Trump on his demand for $2,000 stimulus checks as an additional bill. But even if it passes in the House, it is likely dead on arrival in the Senate. There's also just simply not enough time to get a new deal done and passed in both chambers of Congress. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News in Washington.
Well, that relief bill would also provide aid to businesses across Indiana that have faced unbelievable obstacles as they try to survive the pandemic. With so much uncertainty, many have still been able able to find success, coming up with innovative ways to bring in business and harnessing their strengths to stay open. Join us this week as we go back and visit some of our favorite local businesses from 2020. Watch this special report here, Inside the COVID Crisis, We're Open, at 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve, right here on WRTV. Still ahead here on WRTV News at 5, getting creative to meet a need. The women who said they won't let people go hungry on their watch and found a way to deliver. It's a late start to the new season, but the Pacers are ready to tip it off at home tonight. Coming up, we'll hear from the team's new head coach about what we can expect to see on the court.
And all rain showers right now, especially in the eastern portion of the state, Muncie, Newcastle, on down to Rushville. When that leaves the state, there'll be some more rain to return. I'll have that timing for you coming up.
WRTV hiring Hoosiers partner.
Chaplain Jason Benzie here at Travis Air Force Base in California to send greetings to Mom, Dad, Brother Tim, Brooke, Levi, Evan and Annalisa in Columbus, Indiana. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And thanks to all of our service members, especially those who are away from family during the holidays. We appreciate your service. There's no lack of leadership in Central Indiana. The WRTV Jefferson Awards for Multiplying Good focuses on people who go above and beyond in their services to others. Our Rafael Sanchez reports on two ladies fed up with people going hungry during the holidays.
All the way to the front. Pull them up. No. Pull them up. Pull them up. This was Plan B. It's not what organizers had envisioned.
Hey, baby.
This is a crazy year.
Yes, it is. Good morning.
But the pivot to this drive-thru was the best vehicle to fill a critical need.
Some people don't have nothing. So whatever we can do to help somebody, that's what we should do. Everybody. If the whole community here in Indianapolis work together on that, we can feed a whole lot of people. We really could, a whole lot of people.
And whatever we can do, that's what we want to be able to help the community.
Every year, you'll find Janet Easley and Bobby Jones at the Watkins Family Center in Indianapolis, leading more than 200 volunteers in preparing, packing, and delivering more than 8,000 Thanksgiving meals. The ladies are lovingly known as Aunt Janet and Aunt Bobby. Their mutual goal, to battle hunger with heart and humility.
I say, hold on. God's going to give us the strength we need to keep going, and we just going to have to keep fighting. We just got to get through this journey. It's not going to last always.
I try to do my best in whatever I do.
During this outside event, families received a turkey or a gift card. It was the safest way to serve during this global pandemic and to lead by example.
And even this year is just a testament to the definition of them being leaders. You've got to be some kind of a leader to have volunteers that'll still get out there and still work for you and still want to do and provide for the community like we are.
Before the first vehicle rolled through the line, you two ladies are part of the light. WRTV surprised Aunt Janet and Aunt Bobby with the Distinguished Jefferson Award for Multiplying Good. For shedding light on the world, we thank you. There's your Jefferson Award. On one of the wettest during a pandemic, you are a woman who sheds light. We thank you. Well, can we do the bump? Thank you. Thank you. Two ladies with boundless enthusiasm to share the bounty of the day without boasting, but basking in what people can accomplish when there's a plan with a purpose. Working for you, Rafael Sanchez, WRTV.
Congratulations to Janet and Bobby. You can nominate someone who you know is making a difference for a Jefferson Award. Just go to our website at WRTV.com and then click on the Jefferson Awards in the menu. And you know what, Kevin, every time I see these stories or get to tell these stories, I love that moment of surprise when you put the medal or you have the medal around their neck and people are clapping from them. It's a great moment. And something I noticed in this video is that they kept their mission alive despite the downpour that was happening at the time.
Nothing's going to stop them, right?
Right, exactly.
So congrats. And maybe you were waiting in a car for the downpour to end before you made a dash into a grocery store or whatever you needed to do this afternoon. At least it was mild while we had the rain. That's so far. That will change later tonight as the colder air starts to sneak back in. Did we get historical credit? No. 53 was our high today. The record 11 degrees warmer than that, but the record goes back to 1933. As far as our headlines, the rain continues through probably midnight. Then after midnight, we transition to some snow, much of which will melt on contact with the warm ground and the wet ground. 40-mile-per-hour gusts continue through midnight as well, and shockingly colder in the morning. Temperatures in the 20s versus the 50s we have now. First wave of rain is now in eastern Indiana. That will exit but be followed up by another line of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. From Chicago to St. Louis down to Springfield, Missouri, there's the cold front, the dividing line between the much colder air behind it and the mild temperatures that we've enjoyed so far today. Notice temperatures don't start really trending the other way till we get to 11 o'clock tonight, and then falling into the low to mid 20s tomorrow morning and not recovering a whole lot. Between 7 and 11, there's the expansion of the rain ahead of that cold front. We stopped this at 1 o'clock in the morning just to pinpoint where we transition to or mix snow with the rain and change it over to a burst of heavier wet snow. Then we're stuck with flurries through the day tomorrow. Many of us will see a third to maybe half an inch of rain tonight, and then it becomes that wintry mix. Temperatures tomorrow going nowhere, stuck in the mid-20s in the morning, but falling in the afternoon with flurries and a cold west wind, although not as strong as today. Still, you'll want to layer up a bit. West wind to 20 miles per hour. Temperatures way below where we were today, and not as cold as we will be on Christmas Day. Christmas morning, temperatures start single digits to around 11 above in Indianapolis. High temperature on Christmas Day recovers to just 20 degrees. But look what happens. Almost 20 degrees warmer Saturday, 39 degrees. 45 Sunday, warm enough for a chance for rain late in the day. And then early on Monday, may have a little snow as that moisture starts to leave and temperatures are in the 30s, about 36 degrees. We'll be back to talk more about these changes in a bit. Mark?
All right, we'll see you soon, Kevin. Thank you. Opening night. The Pacers have waited quite a while for this evening to arrive. The team's shortened 72-game regular season schedule begins tonight with a game at home. For now, they'll be playing inside an empty Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The team was unable to get a win in any of its 3 preseason games, but they did get to see a lot of minutes out of a lot of players. The man in charge of the Pacers on the sidelines is ready for his regular season debut. Nate Bjorkgren is set for his first NBA game as head coach. December has found the team with a fresh energy so far.
Communicating is much more efficient, and they're communicating in the right way on where people should be and how they guard the ball. So that would be the biggest thing that I've seen. They're continuing to play hard on the defensive end of the floor every day in practice and in the preseason games that you saw. But the communication is the thing that's improving more and more every day.
We just got to continue to keep getting better every day, every practice, every minute, every game. So it's not always going to be perfect, right? But at the end of the day, our approach and our mentality can't change.
The Pacers showing off this photo of the Fieldhouse all dressed up for TV. Brad Brown will be there live tonight on the news at 6 with more on tonight's matchup. For the second week in a row, the member of the Indianapolis Colts is named AFC Defensive Player of the Week. This week, the honor goes to defensive tackle DeForest Buckner. His performance in Sunday's win against the Texans included 4 tackles, 3 of which were solo, and 3 sacks. Buckner is the 5th Colts player to earn AFC Player of the Week honors this season. Kenny Moore won the same award last week. Congrats to them. Still ahead on WRTV, can't take the time to head into the kitchen during an intense and competitive video game to get something to eat? The console that's got you covered.
Got everything else you need.
Well, just when you thought 2020 couldn't get any more unusual, KFC is introducing a new gaming console shaped like a bucket. It also includes a built-in chicken chamber to keep your chicken warm while you're playing video games. The KFC console is powered by Intel processors and has 1 terabyte of data storage. There's also a custom-built cooling system to keep hardware at regular temperature. KFC was aiming for a mid-December launch, but it now appears it won't happen until 2021. As more vaccines roll into hospitals and frontline workers roll up their sleeves, another thing may already be lurking around. All new at 6 p.m., what we know so far about the new strain of COVID that could be here already. And Santa doesn't just deliver toys, he's also a music man delivering joy and smiles to those who really need it. That's next at 5:30.